Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on the final issue of the Spider-Gwen miniseries. Now, as you know, this was meant to be a 5-issue miniseries. That was meant to be the first Spider-Gwen series, while Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 2 was the issue that started it, and due to popular fan demands, we eventually got a series. And the cover has a kind of split picture of Spider-Gwen and Gwen Stacy. So let's go on the story. We are mainly introduced to how at Matt Murdock's penthouse, he finds out his $1 has been stolen, and one of his henchmen give him the invitation, who he finds out someone known as Felicia Hardy has basically taken the $1. So of course in the Spider-Gwen universe, Felicia Hardy is meant to be African French, and of course is meant to be like a mix of Lady Gaga and Sia. And basically it's shown that the Mary Janes have a history of Felicia, with Glory Grant saying, "What the hell does Felicia play air guitar?" And basically, MJ says, she was always jealous, she sold out, and basically it's more about them trying to prove her wrong. And we kind of see how they talk about trying to stay together as a band, and we see them about to perform, and we see how Felicia has found out that Matt Murdock's come to the invitation. And of course, her and her henchmen get ready, and he has the $1 bill. And we're introduced to a flashback back in Paris. Felicia's father was a well-known cat burglar, but of course, things got out of hand when he stole the Kingpin's $1. And Matt Murdock set out to prove himself and killed Felicia's father. We saw how she risen from the top and gone the distance. And we see how Felicia and her band sabotage the kind of concert. And we kind of see how she sort of shows off her success. And you can tell right away that MJ's band aren't happy. And basically Betty says, "Whoa, this is unbelievable. Yeah, too good." And so she basically shows off her skills, and basically gets a lighter and destroys the $1 bill. So of course she does this to get a reaction from Matt Murdock. And we see how ninjas and basically Felicia's band start to fight, and Gwen has to quickly change and kind of try and stop the whole thing. And we see how Felicia and that get into an all-out fight. And we see Gwen Stacy showing up to try and deal with not only Felicia's henchmen, but also Matt Murdock's ninjas. And of course, this is a moment where you can tell Felicia wants to get revenge and tries to go for Matt Murdock. And you can tell he's doing this just to sort of push her buttons. And Gwen tries to reassure her to calm down. Basically, he's trying to push his buttons, but she finds out that Felicia's father was killed by him, so of course has to try and take her out, and starts to see the truth of Matt Murdock, who tries to play nice, but of course she mainly learns that he sent Rhino and Vulture out, and as soon as the police sirens come, she basically has to leave. And of course, we see how at the remains of George Stacy's living room, looks at a picture of his deceased wife, and talks how he's glad that she wasn't here to see this whole mess. So we have the Wolf showing up, trying to talk about the whole Spider-Woman case, and George Stacy says about giving it a rest, and that he doesn't need it in his house. but she mainly says that he is a good cop and knows he's a good guy, and of course leaves, ending the story. So, overview thought, the final issue of the miniseries is actually not too bad. I think it's interesting to have a version of Felicia mixed with Lady Gaga and Sia, and I do feel there was a moment you could have Gwen Stacy sort of sympathizing with Felicia, knowing knowing what it would be like to lose a father. But overview, it's a decent issue, so I think it deserves a thumbs up. And the miniseries isn't too bad. It gives you this small taste of what you're gonna get, and they still tell a good story. So I think it deserves another thumbs up. Still good, and still right. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.